Hi there. He is one of the coolest, funniest, most hardworking, goal-driven, and focused people I ever know. A noble man with a big heart for coffee, engineering, and video game streaming. He's definitely a hero that loves to help people, even foreign students from Germany back then. I will never forget it.
Still,
And
to this
furthermore,
day.
furthermore, he designs and manufactures machines for the most important needs of human beings. So, that we are going to talk about on this podcast. So, my dear listeners, please stand up and cheer. Make some noise for Sam, the man from Queensland, Australia.
Hello. Hello. Very good. Very good. Thank you so much for the very friendly intro there. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the welcome. I'm very happy to be here today. I'm very happy to see you again. This is our second time all being on here.
Yeah,
I think
Paul is great.
Yeah. I think it's been how long since we did that last one? I think a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Right?
1.5
Give or
years
take.
ago. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was just only audio. People
Yes.
curious. Who is
Yeah.
this Sam? So
Mhm.
let's do this video podcast.
Yeah,
So,
put a face to the name, you know?
put a face to the name, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always a delight to talk to you, and
Yeah. Likewise, my
it's
friend.
great to have you back on the spot. Thank you. It's great to have you back on this podcast. So, how are you doing, my brother?
Thank you for having me back. I'm doing very well. Thank you. It's very hot here, but doing good. It's very hot in Brisbane today. Well, it's been hot for the last month, I should say. Very hot, and then it rains, so then it starts to be humid, but we do well. You jump in a pool, come back, get in the shower 3 times a day, and you'll be fine. You know?
Yeah, unfortunately, we have the same conditions. We have rain too, but it's not that warm. It's
Oh yeah. Oh,
so yeah.
I miss winter. I wish I could have your winter right now. Oh man, you have no idea.
Yeah, it can be really hot over there. I think it was February. I think this month. Yeah, I arrived in Australia back in 2016, 8 years
Yes.
ago.
Yes.
But yeah. So before we start, could you please tell our listeners who you are and what you do for a living, and
Okay.
combine it with a little anecdote how we met?
Okay. Sure. So, my name is Sam. I've just turned 28, and I am a design and manufacturing engineer. I run a family business, and pretty much our goal is to automate food equipment. And now that is mainly focused around bakery. So anything to do with bakery from start to finish, I have a pretty good understanding of what goes on and what needs to be involved, and how we can go from A to Z, increased capacity outputs, so thousands per hour, and then reducing labor, just automizing the entire production. That's kind of what our industry is built on. That's what the company is built upon, and
Yeah.
everybody eats.
What is the
People
name of
gotta
the
eat,
company?
so there's
You
always
got
gonna
a,
be something.
you got a loophole. Everybody needs
Yeah,
food.
yeah. Everybody needs to. I got the biggest loophole in the world. The company is called Inomach, Inomach, and we're based in Brisbane, Australia, and we pretty much serve Australia and the rest of the world. Not just Australia. I've sold exports as well. Very recently, we've sold to the United States as well. That's gonna probably leave end of this month, actually. So
Okay,
we sold a
Which
waffle,
state?
a waffle, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
yeah,
How is the
Philadelphia.
transportation?
Yeah,
Yeah, Philly.
yeah, Philly,
Shout
good
out to
old Philly,
Philly.
Philly lads. Yeah, nah. So yeah, we've been doing a lot lately. We're developing new equipment, new designs. So very recently, I focused a lot on spraying equipment. So what that essentially does is, some of our listeners could potentially be in the baking as well for home, like as a hobby. because baking in itself and dough itself is a very it's a very tricky thing, because it's almost like the dough is alive, and you need to treat it that way, because dough changes according to its environment, the flour you use, the temperature that you are currently in. So the like anything that you add, anything that you're surrounded by, the dough is affected by that. And essentially what happens is your dough or your bakery product comes out the best when you pour your love and heart into it, and you can really taste it in the product. You know, I'm sure our German listeners could, they could probably understand, as you guys have like the most range of bakery products. So I'm sure you guys can relate.
yeah.
You know,
Really
Berliners, and your good old all that thing. You know, so I'm sure you guys could tell.
And Alina, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of big boys,
yeah.
big companies in Germany as well that I follow and I love, and I'm in love with them. Great stuff comes out of Germany because you guys are, very good with your bakery products. Yeah, Europe in general, France, Italy, UK, United States is one, and we're just kind of like Australia on our own little thing, and doing our little thing down there, So
But Australia is really big. I mean, I wouldn't.
it's just far from everywhere. That's the problem. Yeah.
I think you got 3 time zones, right? 3.
Yes, three time zones. As far as I'm aware, it's 3 time zones. It can change.
Okay, cool. How do you meet people or your future consumers or clients, or like,
So
because USA and Slovenia, it's like far in the west. No,
yes,
sorry. So you are way more in the east. So
yes.
that means you have to travel a lot. And how do you, first of all, how do you contact people? That's like, do you do it like on a personal level, or go on
No.
fairs,
No.
events?
I mean, look, affairs and events and workshops and all of those things, they help a lot. Yes, you get to meet like-minded people. Like, I've just mentioned to you, like, Germany, right? Like, my father's been to an exhibition down in Munich not long ago. He was at a bakery exhibition, a bakery equipment exhibition, where pretty much all the big boys in the world that deal with manufacturing of equipment, they all meet there. So my dad kind of went there as a visitor as well, just to see what's developing at the moment in the world, like what's the next level technology that's being brought on. And you get to really understand and meet people. You get to meet the suppliers, and you get to meet the consumers, and you just get a better understanding of the bakery product and the equipment as well. And you get to see how they both work together. It's a very sophisticated, very, I wish I could have gone. I would have loved to be there. I couldn't go this year, but I hope to go this coming year. This year now. I think they do it at the end of the year, September, October, I think. And I would love to be there for that time. I would love to be at that exhibition, because it's one of the best in the world. And some of the stuff that they showcase are absolutely incredible.
So that's the thing. What I love about engineering is that it's a really wide field. So we are talking about actually something we always eat, bread, bakery stuff, and you don't really appreciate the how do I say it? The time, the stress, money put into the production of just one bread.
Yes.
You talked about the old equipment. You said dough is like, depends on the environment and flavors, all that stuff. So it's really an engineering point of view. Dough is not like dough.
No, it's not. The dough that you make in Germany and the dough that you make in Australia will be different, even though you use the same amount of flour, even though you use the same amount of water, even though you use the same amount of yeast. It will be different, because the flour that you use in Germany is going to be different than the flour that is here. The contents of that flour will be different. The water molecules will be different. In a chemical point of view, it will never be the same.
Yeah, I think it's too no hate for my German people. I mean, I live here. I grew up here. Maybe a little bit warm and empathy.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you talked about events and meeting people, and I received some feedbacks. Hey, Altan, you have a podcast. You're doing great job, but ask people on some personal stuff, like how do you approach people? I mean, there are lots of people who are afraid of approaching people. What would you say, recommend to those who listen right now?
In a business point of view,
Business point of view, on a human level,
or general?
at the end, in general.
In general, okay.
I would like to hear both, like business and general.
I think in general point of view, approaching people, you should never be afraid of approaching people. I always say to myself when I'm approaching someone for the first time, what's the worst can they say to you? What's the worst? What's the possible worst thing they can say to you? No.
No.
Just no. Is that are you, am I, and it comes down to kind of like social anxiety as well. I think that's what kind of it falls under, because the only reason why you wouldn't really approach someone in the first place is if you've got a bit of social anxiety or you're not feeling as confident. And to kind of, when it comes to confidence and when it comes to, being self-conscious, I always tell myself, like, you should never be afraid. You should always go get it. The worst they could say is no. Just be who you are. Never be afraid to, trying your best. And, but that's just me. And I know that a lot of people do struggle with social anxiety. A lot of people struggle to go and say hello. And it's like, when I say hello, what do I say then? What if they accept me? Then what? Okay, they didn't say no, but how do I follow it up and say, you don't want to be stuck with that. So I think it needs a lot of practice. And even in a business point of view, I did have a lot of those issues that I've just mentioned. I still, to some days, I don't feel as confident. I don't really want to talk to people. Engineers, we're a bit socially awkward. Yeah. So it's like, so it's like, what do I say? So then it's like, sometimes I just take like a second. I give myself a little second, and I'm like, just nosedive. That's literally the best thing you could do. Just nosedive right into it, because without putting yourself in the spot, you will never get to the other side. You need to always put yourself in the spot. You need to be a little uncomfortable. You need to be comfortable by being uncomfortable, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So I literally don't see any other way, especially if you want to be successful. Now, in a business point of view, me personally, when I like dealing with new clients or them approaching me or I'm approaching them, usually with new clients, I don't approach them. I don't come to them and say, hey, do you want to buy my product? They're usually the ones coming to me saying, hey, this looks interesting. Tell me more about it. Then I engage with them. I don't necessarily go out, chase new clients, and I'm like, hey, I'm selling this cool thing. Do you want to buy it? It's not like that. It doesn't go like that.
Through Australia.
Especially in Australia, I feel like it doesn't work. I feel like they need you. Like you want them to need you, essentially. And because I'm in such a niche category, believe it or not, there's not a lot of people that do this. And it's not just about selling equipment. It's also about manufacturing, which is completely another thing. You can buy and sell the equipment. That's called trade. Yeah, you're trading. So you're trading equipment and you're servicing it. But there's also a whole new horizon when you say you're manufacturing the damn thing. So that's different. And not a lot of people manufacture here. So that's why we kind of fall into this niche category where our customers can come to us and say, hey, I want this, but it doesn't exist. It's not a standard. You can't find it anywhere. Can you build it for me?
Yeah.
Then the conversation goes, okay.
Germany,
Yeah, go on.
Sondermaschinenbau. It's like the specific machines, equipment. There's a niche of engineering in Germany, which is they design and manufacture stuff, equipment, machines, all the devices for the client's needs. Yeah, it's not the standard, as you said. It's a niche. And in the first podcast, you talked about how you moved to from Turkey to Australia. It was really
Yes.
essential.
Yes.
Would you be the same guy if you never moved to Australia?
No, I wouldn't be the same guy.
Family.
No, I would not be the same guy. First of all, I would be a chain smoker, probably. Like everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably be a chain smoker. Probably still studying engineering, probably, yes. I was, from day one, when I was a kid, I always wanted to do engineering, so I probably would still be an engineer. I don't know, like, as far as anything else, I feel like I would be the same. I probably wouldn't have the same opportunities that I have now. Like, I don't think I would start this. Like, I don't think Mac would exist. Even if it did exist, it would exist in a different way. It wouldn't be the way it is right now. Because in Turkey, as you might be aware, there's a lot of manpower. You can hire people and they'll do a good job. You need to run around too much. Whereas in Australia, labor is very expensive. So I don't exactly have as many people as I would like to hire. So I do have a lot of responsibilities. I don't just do engineering. I do sales. Like I said, I call people, I email people, and then I even do a side of accounting, and then I do a side of, laser cutting and assembling my own equipment that I designed. So there's all these things that I do that, I wouldn't normally do if I was back home. If I had a company like this, I wouldn't do it this way.
Yeah, because as you said, it is a family business. Your family, your dad started in Turkey, moved to Australia for a year, I think.
Yes.
So, and came back and told you the stories, and you were like, okay, I'm down.
Well, this whole business idea kind of got thrown into me. Well, I got thrown into it, actually. So I think it was so the company was established in 2015. So that was just a little before you arrived, right?
Okay, wow, okay, I didn't know.
So August 2015 was when the company was established, and you arrived in February. So about 6 months after 6 months after you've arrived, the company was already there.
It was really
okay. But we didn't have a warehouse, or we didn't exactly have a physical address until 2018. Okay. Pretty much when I graduated, really. And my dad was like, here's the keys. And he said, now go. Yeah. And
totally different from the world, from the university campus and the real world. I think that's the one point missing. I have lots of friends who graduated from engineering, but they almost, like 90% of them, they never really worked as you work. Like, here, keys, go ahead. Keys? How do I do a thesis about it? No thesis, just work, just practice. That's the difference. Would you say, what would you recommend people or young listeners when they are studying? They want to grow up, found a company. Do you recommend it, or would you say just work a little bit, just for 2 or 3 years to get experience, and then afterwards do your own company?
I'll tell you this. Now that I look back into it, I am well aware that I'm very much ahead. I'm only 28, and it's been 5 years now, I think, since we've had since we've been operational like this, 5 or 6 years, I think, at this point in time. And I've learned so much. I've learned so much. And some of the things that I've learned were through a lot of mistakes that I made. Some of them were through just absolute coincidence and a bit of pure luck. And I don't think I would be where I am right now if I wasn't thrown into it, if I didn't nosedive into it. Now, I had a lot of pressure because before my dad gave me the keys, he didn't just give me the keys and say, here, you go run it. He also gave me a massive debt to also tag along with it. So I had this pressure of, oh my God, we could go bankrupt. And then
All your fault.
yeah. So it's like literally my man said, here's the keys, but it comes with a condition that, oh, you might, if you screw this up, you might be bankrupt, So that's the massive pressure that now the loan wasn't under my name, but it's still my family.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I had this massive pressure, like, oh my God, I cannot fail. I cannot screw this up. This isn't some joke. This isn't some little uni project. This is like at this point, life or death. That's how I saw it at the start. And that's how I still see it to today, And when we first started, the first year was so intense. I had no idea. I was still a kid. Like, I look back at myself now, I was a kid, man. Like, what could I have possibly done? And, even though I was such a young and pretty much, stupid kid at that point, I kind of feel sorry for myself because he had to go through a lot, a lot of pressure, a lot of anxiety. There were times I felt depressed. There's this financial burden. First year was terrible. We didn't make money. We lost money. Second year, it was kind of balanced. Didn't make money, but we also didn't lose money. So it was like, okay. And then third year was when it skyrocketed. Funny enough, COVID, we actually did really well in COVID because a lot of people were buying in demand. So we made a lot of profit during that time because a lot of our customers actually needed equipment to increase their capacities. So that's where we kind of did well. And even today, like every year, it goes better and better and better. So I cannot complain.
Yeah.
And if I have to say, like to our listeners who whether they should study for the first 2 to 3 years or whether they should just go nosedive like we did when I first graduated, I feel like there's pros and cons to this. It depends on how you want to go about your own life.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, I definitely I'm ambitious. Okay, I'm an ambitious person, and I want success. I want success, and I by the time I'm 30, 40, I want to be at a level where I can now like relax and I want to be financially free, and that comes with a bit of consequence, comes with a bit of consequence. You have to put in the work. You have to put in the hours. Yeah, man, you have to. There's no other way. Now, I could have gone in and I could have worked for 2 to 3 years for a company. I would have been just fine. I wouldn't have gone through the kind of pressure that I did. It's excruciating. It's a lot of mental pressure, physical pressure, because I'm also physically involved as well. So, but if I compare the two, 2 to 3 years working under somebody else would have been very relaxed, and I probably would have learned quite a few things even then. But this one is different. I don't think I would, me personally, I don't think I would want anything else. I think I would still go ahead with this because of everything that I've learned, everything that I lost and I won. I feel like that is just priceless.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's story can be different. Everyone's story can be different. This may not be the solution for everyone. I'm not saying that you should go and pull out a massive loan and go in and start a company and, screw it. Sam said it will do well and I have to put in the hours. No, it's not like that. Sometimes it's also a little bit of luck, I guess. But hard work is a must.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And how did you handle the problems or the mistakes you did over the years as you started to run the company, the family company? You said lots of pressure, you don't know anything, just freshly graduated. And what was the greatest mistake you did? Can you remember? And how did you handle it? That would be interesting to know.
I have quite a few mistakes, actually. If I have to think about this greatest one, I think it would be the fact that not a lot of people can be honest, and you shouldn't trust everyone, unfortunately. I have to say this. It's sad that I have to say this, but I did have customers who didn't end up paying me at the end of the day, you know, and I I've changed from that now. I do not deliver equipment anymore until they're completely paid off. And that's just the company policy at this point in time. Never deliver before it's paid off, or at least a receipt has been sent over that it has been paid for. I trusted customers, and I still do trust customers. I have to handpick them. If I have to deliver an equipment and it hasn't been paid off, I actually have to understand and get to know the person first before I actually deliver it, before I receive any payment. It depends on the customer to customer. It changes now. So before, I used to be, I guess, a little gullible, and I was very young, you know. So I'd be like, yeah, it's okay, I trust you, but you know, unfortunately, they kind of did me dirty and didn't pay me.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say that's my biggest mistake.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, this honesty and trust is, I think, a characteristic stuff of human beings that you need everywhere. Actually, not only on a business level. And as I said, I got some feedbacks on the podcast. It's like called Local Heroes on the Globe. What do you think? What is your contribution? Because I did some research about the food and bakery industry. Australia is like the revenue from the bread and bakery revenue in Australia for this year, $9.4 billion US dollars. So in Germany is like almost a double, 18.7 US dollars. So you actually save the basic need of people, food.
Yes.
So do you have any experience with food, like nutrition?
Not nutrition.
That made you think, thank God I have like food on my table and I can like run a company and a family. So I'm blessed. And there are people out there, they are like less blessed. What would you say? Like, what would you do to make people get food anywhere, anytime?
I mean, look,
It's a hard question.
It's the simple thing is bread is the foundation of man, right? It's the foundation of humankind. So share the bread, you know, share the bread. That's all I have to say. There's enough bread for everyone, you know. And it's simple. Like, bread is the simplest thing. Just mix flour with water and you have bread, you know. There are parts of the world that are very unfortunate. Some are more fortunate than others. I feel like, and there's a lot of waste as well, and that is something that the first world countries are, I guess, looking into the waste and how to, I guess, deal with the waste, and not just food waste, but any other waste for that matter. You know, we're talking about electric cars and we're talking about this, but we also need to talk about, you know, the food waste, organic waste, and plastic waste, and how we can reuse them, how we can benefit from them, and how the humanity can, just evolve, I guess. The bread, like I originally said before, it's very sophisticated. It's like a living being. It's a very chemical thing. You know, I did learn a lot throughout the years about the dough and how things change. Like, you know, I originally said like, oh, the environment changes and that changes. I've learned that. I didn't know it initially. I learned it, you know, throughout the years that I've spent into this industry. It is very fascinating. I can't tell you how fascinating it is, because you have to see it for yourself. You really do. You know? Yeah.
1.5 years ago, I was on a farm, and the farmer told us all the story behind the farm, like how it works, how is it called cattle?
Cattle, yeah.
The cattle.
Yeah, cattle, yeah.
the cows and the milk and all that stuff, like everything that end up on the table, food, drinks, is actually, how do you say it? We take it for granted, but it's not. Yeah, so I think that should be more appreciated.
Yes.
For the workers and for people who are less blessed. Everything. I think every second of your life you should be thankful.
Yes, I really agree with you. You should be just grateful for just even waking up the next day. And, we talk about social anxiety and depression and this and that. Sun is going to come up again tomorrow. There will be sun coming up tomorrow. You should never let, like, yesterday was yesterday, today's a different day, tomorrow is going to be a different day. If anything, you need to catch up, because if you don't, you're just going to fall back. You don't want to fall back. And, just be the better version of yourself. Always work on yourself.
Cool. Wow. Yes, I wouldn't, I would, what was the thing I want to say? Yeah, I didn't want to take your mood down. At the end, it was a little bit more deep, but
not at all.
So yeah, thank you for your time, because it's like now 8 p.m. over there.
9. Wait, is it
9?
8:30. Yes, 8:30. Yes,
8:30.
8:30.
So it's 9 hours of time difference.
Yeah.
For your time. Is there anything you want to say, or want to add up, or? Yeah.
Just be nice to everyone. Okay, guys, be nice to everyone. I mentioned a lot about ambition and running this, running that. Life is also not a rat race. You should enjoy your life. Now, I talked about all this pressure and that. I ask myself, would I do it to my own kid? I'm skeptical. I don't know if I still. See, I'm skeptical because it does come with a lot of pressure, and I don't think it's for everyone. For sure, I don't think it's for everyone. You have to have a very strong mental health. You have to have a very strong, you really have to have it all together, because then you will just fall apart. You'll. So be nice to yourself, and be nice to others. Tomorrow's going to be a better day.
Wow. Really nice words. Very deep.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. And just let me know if you're in Germany, because of the events and fairs.
Yes.
I don't promise. I won't promise. But maybe this year I could come to Australia. Maybe.
Wow. Okay. No, that's a promise.
No. It's not promise. From the point of view from today, I would say could be possible.
I actually plan on coming to Turkey in pretty much this month. Actually, I'm planning on coming this month.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So if you're around, you should come by.
Okay, if you have some dates,
I'll let you know.
Sure that. Yeah, cool. Sam, thank you very much, and thank you very much for my listeners who listen to this amazing guy.
Thank you for having me. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I don't speak too much nonsense or anything, but
no, it's okay. I just wanted to, as I said, I received some feedbacks. Hey, Altan, let people talk and ask some personal question. How do you handle stress? How do you, what is your biggest mistake you did on the?
Before you go, I just want to say, how do I handle stress? Because you mentioned it. I love gym. Gym is incredible. I think everyone should go to gym. If you have stress and you don't know how to deal with it, hit the gym. That's the best advice I can give you. Gym is good. And I'm thankful for my wife. She does take a lot of my mind out of work as well. So thankful for her. So family, gym, and just eating healthy. Just being the best version of yourself, eating healthy, feeling good. The more you do good, the better you'll feel. So I hit the gym for sure.
Hit the gym, guys. People
hit the gym
out there. I need to hit the gym too. Just gained a lot of weight.
Sure.
So, Sam, thank you very much for your time. And
Thank you.
Maybe next podcast episode. Who knows?
Yeah, would love to be on there. Thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. So see you. Guten Tag. Bye.
Bye.